Welcome back to the cabana. We love winter months here in Los Angeles because this is what you get, cabana weather. While the rest of our neighbors in other states and parts of the country are shoveling ice and snow, we're just kind of cruising, which makes it a 12-month calendar for showing property in LA, and we've always benefited from that in this environment. So we're fortunate and we don't take it for granted, but we sure love it. This session today, I want to point out some critical strategies for our sellers and for our buyers, and even for our colleagues, agents, to follow that we subscribe to, that we found very effective to get business done, to really launch a property for the most saturation and the most interest right off the bat. It doesn't happen automatically. Sure, there are the occasional trophy properties that no matter what you do, they attract attention from the get-go because they're so unique or so monumental. But that's not the everyday real estate that we always navigate. It includes all properties. So these strategies work for all properties. The first one I like to use, we'll start with sellers, is ask less, get more. It's contrary to common sense maybe, because human nature typically thinks if I ask more, I'll get more. But studies and statistics have proven not the case in real estate. In fact, asking more for your property than the market really will bear means you're going to get less eventually, because the first statistic that really hurts a seller begins when they have to employ a price reduction in order to attract or keep attention or to receive offers from interested buyers. Again, it's contrary to inclination and instinct. Most sellers think we want to leave a lot up there, Ernie, so that we got plenty of room to negotiate. But if you can stomach it and remember, ask less, get more, really works. Put your first listing price closer to the perceived market value. You'll never have to reduce your price to get a sale or to get good showings. And so you'll get more showings, you'll get more offers, and you'll get more of the price that the market will pay you. By needing to go into a price reduction cycle, unfortunately, statistics bear out that usually that ends up 17% lower than the property would have gained in a sale had they never needed to go through the price reduction cycle. So enough about that. I hope you can remember, ask less and get more. The other one is one for buyers and sellers. Best foot forward, or BFF, which means other things out there in society these days. And that is, as a seller, put your best foot forward when you send a counter offer to an incoming buyer. Give the biggest consideration on price or terms to the buyer that's interested in purchasing your property. Then make smaller adjustments as negotiations proceed. Unfortunately, again, the instinct of most sellers is to hold back when they first send a counter out. The fear might be, oh, now my number will drop and people will know in the industry. Well, quite honestly, no one's looking. It doesn't get out there, at least not in the critical time period that you could submit your negotiations and get your sale into escrow. So put your best foot forward if you're a buyer. Knowing that you're expecting to negotiate and you're going to offer less than the seller is launching on their price, put your highest offer in, expecting to only do small incremental changes and increases. We find that that attracts the seller's attention. They like the offer more than what's considered and called a lowball offer. That's not going to win friends and influence people. It only makes the buyer feel good that they didn't offer too much. What a buyer really should want is the seller to receive their offer favorably. They may not accept it, but at least not perceiving it's a lowball offer. Once a first impression is made, it's very hard to change the original impression. You have to work twice as hard. Continuing to help buyers in their strategies when wanting to purchase a property, I think offering a selection of terms that sellers would be more open to hearing: shorter inspection times, shorter close of escrow times. Don't be fearful of putting something that seems too good to be true down there. You can always adjust as negotiations proceed, but remember, BFF, best foot forward first. Helps both parties. Instead of holding back at the beginning, go forward, be bold, and then make adjustments and recapture what you may feel you have lost, but you'll keep the property and most likely prevail. One of the most helpful pieces of advice I can offer buyers, and I certainly counsel my buyers when I'm about to show a property with them, where the seller's agents will be there listening to our every word, is say good things about the properties you walk through. Even if you can tell it needs work, even if the bathrooms need redoing, the hardwood floors need restaining, buffing, the house needs a new roof. Seller already knows that, most likely. You're not going to win friends and influence people with the seller's representing agent by dissing the house as you walk through it. And sometimes I know buyers use that as a negotiating strategy. They think that's helping their case to offer lower. It's actually not helping the case at all. In fact, it's putting up a wall between the buyer and the seller, and the seller's agents will feel defensive. Look, go in and talk about what's right with the property and why you're there. It attracted you because it's a good value, a great location. Sure, we can see that the house needs work, but we're up to that. We have vision. Then that seller's agent goes back and gives the feedback to the seller, who wants to know how every showing goes. Well, these buyers seem realistic. They recognize the house may need some freshening or some work, but they liked it. They liked the location. They liked how sunny it was or how private it was. Focus, when you're the buyer, on making sure the seller's agents hear positive comments from you when you walk through. Because whether you know it or not, you're on display and you're on stage, and what your comments are will be telegraphed back to the seller, to your detriment or to your favor. Again, a lot of these strategies are contrary to natural instincts and common sense, but we found over our 30-plus year career, they work. And they help our clients succeed when they're competing against others, and they help our listings sell quicker and for a higher percentage of their list price. This team that I get to manage and mentor and work with as dedicated colleagues in the industry, we are known to receive a higher percentage of our seller's asking price when we go to contract than many of our colleagues, because we subscribe to these principles that we believe in. Until the next time, I hope you'll be well.